Peace, family. I just decided to go live. I don't know how many people I'm gonna get in here right off the bat. Hope everyone out there is enjoying their weekend. I got a lot of topics I want to hit on and discuss today. And we're going to do how we normally do. You know what I mean? It's going to be all about FBA empowerment. Normal protocol. Empowering. Bringing truth to power to the FBA family, and standing on business. I ain't gonna be on here too long, like I said. So I don't really want to waste too much time. I'm gonna go on ahead and get right into it. You know what I mean? I don't know if any of the family, has heard, but the latest reparations finesse with the HR 40. I think her name is, Ayanna Presley or some of that nature. She was talking about reparations to descendants of enslaved Africans or some of that nature. And when you use the term descendants of, enslaved Africans, that's whatever you say from on that, from that point on don't matter. You know what I mean? Because you just messed it up right there with the terminology you using. Because enslaved Africans, anyone could technically be an enslaved African. People coming over from the diaspora, Dominican people, Mexican people, because all of these groups got, some African descent in them. The lingo got to be more, tightly woven together and specified. It got to say descendants of freedmen. You know what I mean? Because that's a federally recognized status. So I got the audio and the video of, this new HR 40 reparations finesse, and HR 40 been a reparations finesse from the beginning, from my understanding. You know what I mean? Because the Democrats are just so desperate. They know that foundational Black Americans is really standing on this reparations business. We pushing to get tangibles for our vote. So they trying to, win back that Black support base that they lost. You know what I mean? Because in all actuality, right now it's not really looking too good for the Democrats. So I got the audio and the video of this, and we're going to talk about it, family. Just a second. Let me pull this up. Fair use. Yeah, this congresswoman that's pushing this.
Thank you, everyone, for.
She ain't nothing but a Democratic shill. I believe her name is Ayanna Presley. Hold on, family. Yeah, Ayanna Presley's her name. She ain't nothing more than a Democratic shill, though.
A long and ongoing fight for justice, accountability, and healing for Black America. Today, I'm deeply honored to reintroduce HR 40, historic legislation to establish a federal commission to examine the lasting legacy of slavery, to develop reparations proposals for descendants of enslaved Africans. It is an honor.
See, descendants of enslaved Africans, her using that terminology right there, she messed it all up right there. See, they know what they're doing. Enslaved Africans is too, broad. Anyone could be a descendant of an enslaved African. They got to say freedman on it. You know what I mean? So this ain't nothing, this is a trick bag, if you ask me, nothing more, nothing less, something where they, put it out there, to just garner support, while meanwhile foundational Black Americans are absolutely getting nothing out of the deal. You know what I mean?
To inherit the privilege of carrying this forward. From Congresswoman Sheila Jackson Lee. In my last correspondence with her, she said, keep working on our priorities and never give up. She was the previous House sponsor of HR 40 and a true giant in the movement for reparative justice. We are grateful for her leadership. We are grateful for her example and her voice. May she rest in peace and power. And we are grateful to be joined here today.
See, the Democrats will sit there and talk about reparations, but all they do is, dangle something out there, so they can garner our support, so we keep voting for us, stalling tactics, kicking the can down the street. They got no plans of, producing no reparations. In all actuality, this is a tactic that they're using now, to make it appear as if, foundational Black Americans will get something out of the deal, and when they're talking about enslaved Africans, so on and so forth, that won't benefit foundational Black Americans. Truth be told, anyone coming over from the continent can say, they got, descendants, they're descendants of enslaved Africans. They got family that, was enslaved here in America, so on and so forth. So it's too, broad of a term. And I just wanted to bring it to the family's attention because this is a trick bag. Don't let these Democrats fool you, because now they're very desperate and, they're trying to throw anything to the wall and see if it sticks in order to garner the foundational Black American support, because they know reparations ain't going away. It's something that, is going to continue to be talked about, truth be told, until we get those reparations, to descendants of freedmen. You know what I mean? And they know descendants of, freedmen is federally recognized, but they just trying to, play these tactics, to stall and, do everything under the sun, but do the right thing, which is distribute those cash reparations to foundational Black Americans. You know what I mean? And also, I wanted to talk about family moving right along. I don't know if the family, has heard. They got a young brother. I never heard of this brother, but he's a beast out there, in that ring, brother Keyshawn Davis, FBA brother of Virginia. He knocked out a white supremacist, you know what I mean, from one of them European nations. Evidently, he came over here and, displaying his white supremacist views. He going to offer our brother, a banana and a stereotypical watermelon, you know what I mean? And in the little video I was watching, the brother told him straight up, I'm not, I got something for you. And basically, he had something for that ass. He had something for that behind. So they got in the ring, and the young brother Keyshawn Davis, knocked him out, brought it to him, and he actually won the WBO lightweight, over this white supremacist Dennis. You know what I mean? He knocked him out, and he won that lightweight championship. And he from VA, FBA brother, So my hat goes off to him, and I salute him. You know what I mean? Because he told him, I'm gonna knock you out. You know what I mean? Because you got a lot of, he ain't say it this way, but basically he said it without saying it. You on that white supremacy kick, and I'm gonna beat that behind. And he handed his rear end to him, knocked him out quick, fast, and in a hurry, and won that belt, from that white supremacist. So I salute to him on that. You know what I mean? And I gotta follow this young brother more because he really wasn't on my radar until this. I seen a video of I guess the press conference before the fight when him and the white supremacist was going back and forth and things like that. You know what I mean? But moving right along. What did I want to touch on? Yeah, family, the white supremacists, this is what I wanted to touch on. They mad because during the Super Bowl performance in which our brother Kendrick Lamar performed, they mad that, wasn't no white people up there on stage, being dancers and performing, so on and so forth. They saying it's divisive, they saying everything under the sun. You know what I mean? When it ain't damn divisive for us to have things about Black people and Black people only, they can miss me with that because you ain't got to look too far and wide to find white supremacy. Damn, you could walk down your street, in the neighborhood you live and see a sign lifting up a white supremacist with his name on the street sign. You know what I mean? So you ain't got to look too far and wide to find white supremacy. White supremacy is everywhere you look. You know what I mean? From signs, shit. Down in where I'm from in York, PA, they got a school named after a white supremacist, William Penn. And William Penn was a Quaker, I believe. You know what I mean? And now they try to flip the narrative to make it seem like these Quakers was all abolitionists trying to get rid of slavery, when that couldn't be farther from the truth, because William Penn, he was owning slaves and he gets propped up and, they recognize him down here in PA where I'm from, and they got a damn school named after him. So like I said, you ain't got to go too far to find racism, white supremacy, and he came over from this William Penn, who got the school down here where I'm from. He came over from England, they said, to escape religious persecution from being a Quaker, I believe, they get up, come over here and enslaving, doing this, that, and the other, and gets propped up. So these white supremacists can miss me with that, being mad that it was a all Black function at that Super Bowl, show. You know what I mean? Because that's cool, because you ain't got to look too hard, like I said, to find white supremacy. Hell, I don't know if the restaurant, and if you're not privy to this kind of information, you wouldn't know, but the restaurant Quaker Steak and Lube, that's named after the Quakers, and like I said, they try to flip the narrative that all them were against slavery. Them Quakers, a lot of them, not saying that they some of them weren't against it, but a lot of them, were for slavery, and they got this Quaker Steak and Lube, a restaurant down in my area, and that's named after the damn Quakers, you know what I mean? And they also got the, the oatmeal box, the Quaker Oats, he's made to look like a Quaker, you know what I mean? And them Quakers was for, a lot of them was for enslaving Black folks, you know what I mean? So they could miss me with that, and that's still on the box. That been on the box for how many years on that oatmeal box, you know what I mean? But if you ain't privy to this kind of information, you wouldn't even know, because white supremacy is all around you. You ain't got to look too far. like I said, you could walk down the street and you might not realize the sign you looking at is probably most likely a white supremacist that done, enslaved black folks, this, that, and the other. So when they come with that, mad that the Super Bowl was an all black function, they can miss me with that. You know what I mean? But what else do I want to touch on, family? I'm looking over my notes real quick. Yeah, then they had the nerve, family, to say that the black national anthem was divisive. That lift every voice and sing. That lift every voice and sing, ain't divisive, and they don't like that now, the white supremacists, that being performed, that lift every voice and sing. They can miss me with that because that lift every voice and sing was something to, counter the racist national anthem, because the national anthem, the original national anthem that was made by white supremacists, from my understanding. You know what I mean? And we had to have things as foundational Black Americans to counteract that. You know what I mean? To counteract the things that was going on out here, because the regular national anthem that was created by white supremacists, and it don't they don't represent none of the things they talk about in that song. You know what I mean? America was founded on, doing a bunch of nonsense to foundational Black Americans. We were looked at as 3/5 of a human being, something of that nature. You know what I mean? And just a lot of nonsense when it came to us. So that lift every voice and sing ain't divisive. We had to have things to counteract, the white supremacy, so they could miss me with that. They just mad that foundational Black Americans are displaying their patriotism, for our country. But we're the only real true Americans, to keep it real, foundational Black Americans, we're the only real true Americans. We're the only ones that really represent what America's supposed to be. You know what I mean? Not just some talk, you know what I mean? Some made up stuff. We actually, display the attributes of what a American is really supposed to be. FBA Mello, it's good to see you up and healthy, good brother. The resilience of the FBA family is unmatched. Peace to my brother FBA Mello. Yeah, can't nothing hold a foundational Black American brother or sister down. We do what we got to do. We come through it. We face that adversity. We come through with our chest up, our chest held high and our head up. And thanks for that. Thanks for them blessings, FBA Mello. Peace to you. Hope you're having a good weekend out there. But yeah, see, they just hate, that what it is they hate for us to acknowledge the land over here in America. They don't want us, to display patriotism and things like that. When foundational Black Americans fought in every war, we sacrificed blood, sweat, and tears over here in America. So they could miss me with that. The Black national anthem, to lift every voice and sing, ain't nothing, divisive about it. In fact, we had to have things like that to counteract, the hypocrisy of things, because that, original national anthem that was made by white supremacists, you know what I mean? And the thing that's talking about, they don't represent it. You know what I mean? The only one that represents what freedom, justice, and equality, what things over here in America is supposed to be about, is the foundational Black American. Because when we went through our struggles, we weren't only fighting for ourselves to, have a better life and quality of life. We fought for everyone else, and how selfless is that? Because most people, when they fight, they only worried about their particular groups or enclaves. You know what I mean? They ain't worried about, fighting, for everyone to have fair and just and equal treatment. It was only the foundational Black American that did that. You know what I mean? Because we stood on business. You know what I mean? Never ran, never fled. And the fact that these white supremacists is getting mad about, it only being, Black people out there dancing on stage, or to lift every voice and sing, that says a lot to the mindset and the psyche of these individuals, because it's cool when we was, talking about that going back to Africa kick. Now, when we claim the land, that's where the problem lies, because they know in us claiming the land, we got a claim to our reparations and everything we pushing for now. You know what I mean? Because when you talking going back to Africa, and things like that, they know you ain't got no claim to the land, and ain't no power in that, because you talking about going back to, Africa and things like that. They know ain't no power in that. The true power comes in, locking down the land, claiming all your art forms over here, the things that your ancestors worked to create. And they know that, this is why every time you turn around nowadays, people trying to jump out here and say foundational Black Americans is a group, so on and so forth, just saying a bunch of nonsense when it comes to the lineage, when in all actuality, they know what we're talking about when we speaking about foundational Black Americans. But hold on, family. Let me see what else I wanted to talk about. Because like I said, I ain't going to be on here too long. I just wanted to tap in with the family, because I like to go live on Saturdays. Get a swig of this water real quick. Yeah, I might as well get into it. I ain't going to be on here too long. I want to talk about the brother Elijah Muhammed. I don't think our FBA brother Elijah Muhammed get enough, respect and talked about enough, because Elijah Muhammad, he was really ahead of his time, so I'm gonna tie this kind of into health, because he was a big advocate of health, a big proponent of health, and a lot of people don't talk about that aspect of Elijah Muhammad. So we're gonna get into that, and we're just gonna get into a little bit about Elijah Muhammad. So our brother Elijah Muhammad, he was born October 7th, 1897, in Sandersville, Georgia, and at the height of, the Nation of Islam, when it was at its height in the 60s, the early 60s, our brother was a brilliant, businessman. He had businesses left and right. He had bakeries, barbershops, coffee shops, grocery stores, laundromats. It says farmland and retail stores, just to name a few. Our brother was really getting to $1. So I respect him in that regard, of getting to $1. And, at the height of the Nation of Islam, they was really putting on a lot of Black people, independently, it's hard now, to put on people, independently, because it's easy when you're getting government funding, but when you build yourself up from the grassroots and, you really being about your people, because when they give you anything, the government, you get funding from the government, you could build something, but when you're in the pockets of the government, they're going to dictate to you and tell you how you can move. And brother Elijah Muhammad was doing this on his own, he was raising the money in the community through the bean pies, and putting on his own people, coffee shops, farms, And like I said, he was just, all around businessman. He was ahead of his time. And I don't think, he gets enough just due respect in that regard, our FBA brother Elijah Muhammad, when he was really, where though, how he was laying down the business, the business side of things, because he was a serious business owner, serious entrepreneur during the time. Elijah Muhammad was really up, and really looked out for, Black folks, especially in that Nation of Islam, cleaned people up, took them off the streets, and now I ain't no member of the Nation of Islam. I just rock with, some of their teachings, because some of their teachings, like the do for self, like our brother Louis Farrakhan talks about, that do for self. It don't matter if you agree with him or not. You can't really have nothing bad to say about do for yourself, because it's a mentality of, not depending upon nobody, not waiting around for nobody. If you want something, get it out the mud, go get it yourself. And that's everything that the Nation of Islam stood on. You know what I mean? They got it out the mud, no funding, no nothing. And, during the time, we under oppression now as foundational Black Americans, but during this time, the oppression we was under was serious, here in America, in this nation, you know what I mean? So for him to ball like that and really, build himself up and do for self and have those barbershops and those coffee shops moving and shaking like that, that was really ahead of his time. He was really ahead of his time with that, you know what I mean? Not to mention all the brothers and sisters that he got off of drugs and cleaned up, you know what I mean? And if you watch that, what was that? That Bumpy Johnson, that Bumpy Johnson TV show, they said a lot of that was, real and factual about brother Malcolm X. And it even had little parts in there about Elijah Muhammad, but they said a lot of that, was real and factual. And that showed, to where though how Elijah Muhammad was cleaning up brothers and sisters, getting them off of drugs in the community, and putting them on, reforming them, and just being that all around, dude. Elijah Muhammad was really that dude during the time, you know what I mean? And he really got a lot of things done. But I want to talk about, him being a proponent of health, because, like the brother FBA Mello said, I was down for a little bit because I get bad asthmatic breathing problems. So I was on the sidelines for a little bit with that. And, we as Black people, especially foundational Black Americans, we got to watch out for our health, you know what I mean? And start, really getting up on that health thing, making sure we working out, eating right as best we can, you know what I mean? Because, eating right is another bill, because you can go buy junk food all day. You can buy, you can go buy a box of donuts, for cheap, but you go buy you some, greens, some collard greens, some fresh produce, you're gonna pay an arm and a leg. But it's critical that we got to eat that way, because if you ain't got your health, nothing else matters. You can't even get to $1. You can't get to a bag without your health. So we got to, make sure we exercising, and I'm gonna start putting up more videos of exercising too, because I'm really a proponent of exercising and of health too. When I'm fully up to, feeling good, I'm working out like 4 or 5 times a week when I can. But back to Elijah Muhammed, he was a big advocate and a proponent of health, and he spoke a lot about the Navy bean. And he said he published a book in 1967, How to Eat to Live. You know what I mean? And that book, was a hard-hitting book. I never read the book, but just from going back and seeing the reviews and knowing what I know about the nation, that was a hard-hitting book. Now, in this book, he said God Allah told him, our brother, our FBA brother Elijah Muhammad, that if you eat the Navy bean, you could get what he say? That if you eat the Navy bean, and fill your diet with Navy beans, you will live a lifespan of up to 140 years from the Navy bean. And these are the Navy beans right here, family. I got a bag of them. Now, I'm not sponsored by them, but these Navy beans, he said, our brother said, if you eat the Navy bean and have a diet full of Navy beans, it'll give you a lifespan of up to 140 years. Amon Lee, obligation is divisive. These people talk out on both sides of their necks. I don't know what you're talking about, Lee. But back on topic of what I was speaking about. Yeah, they said the Navy bean to give you our brother Elijah Muhammad specified that if you eat this Navy bean, and put them, fill your diet with the Navy bean, it could give you up to 140 years of life. Now, the benefits of the Navy bean, I just copied down a few of them, because like I said, we dealing with a little bit of the health, and this ties into a little of the Black history, because we speaking about Elijah Muhammad, and he don't get his proper recognition and just do either, if you ask me. So the benefits of the Navy bean is it can lower blood sugar, it helps with gut health, muscle repair, boosts cardiac health, improves cognitive function, aids in weight loss, triggers metabolism, stimulates blood circulation. And it says it also can prevent and treat rectal cancer, which runs high. That rectal cancer, that colon cancer, that runs high in foundational Black Americans. So, eating this bean, it got a lot of benefits, family. You know what I mean? And we got to just, start making health more of a priority. You know what I mean? And the Navy bean is, it's, that's life-giving. That's sustaining right there. Anything that comes from the earth is life-sustaining. When you messing around with these processed foods, a lot of them shits is made in labs, family. Let's keep it all the way real. When you eating that fast food and all of that is it's high in chemicals, you know what I mean? And anything high in chemicals ain't going to sustain you, you know what I mean? It ain't going to sustain you because it ain't made with life to begin with. Now, anything coming out of the ground, when you're talking about things that grow off the trees, these things is life sustaining, you know what I mean? So we got to get back to that life sustaining. They say, real food, you shouldn't even have to cook. You know what I mean? You should be able to eat it raw. And that's where the nutrients is, because a lot of people, they advocate as soon as you cook the food, you done lost the nutrients in the food. You know what I mean? So we just got to get, back to, straight up, making sure that, we in the best shape of our lives, you know what I mean? Eating right, because when you eat right, that plays a lot on your mental state too. When you eat right, you actually feel better. When you exercise, and this is why a lot of people walking around depleted, overweight, because it's all the food. You really ain't got to work out that much if you eating the quality of food, you know what I mean, and sustaining yourself. So we just got to get back to the basics, and that's why I wanted to talk about Elijah Muhammad, because that Navy bean, you could do a lot of different things with that, put it in a lot of different recipes. And I think, one of the biggest things that it does is it helps with colon cancer. Our brother Chad Boseman from the movie Black Panther, he died of colon cancer, if I believe, and that Navy bean is said to prevent that, I got a family member that then died of colon cancer, truth be told, so it's just, we got to watch out what we eat, you know what I mean? Because, that's saying that you are what you eat. That's a true statement, you know what I mean? Because if you eating bad, you're going to feel bad. Your mind going to be bad. You know what I mean? You ain't going to be operating at your top capacity. So, yeah, you know what I mean? that's pretty much all I wanted to say. Just giving our brother Elijah Muhammed, his roses and flowers. He was a hell of a businessman too. You know what I mean? At the time, to have all them businesses and institutions set up. When it was all this oppression against black people, you know what I mean? For him to do that, that was a boss move. You know what I mean? And I don't think he gets the proper recognition in that regard of being the true boss he was. And the Nation of Islam still lives on to this day. It's not many black institutions like that can survive, that many years, without being co-opted, or infiltrated, because a lot of things, they torn down by the government, you know what I mean, and things like that. So it says a lot that our brother, his organization is still moving and shaking the way it is, you know what I mean? So salute to our brother Elijah Muhammad. What's the family getting into today out there, you know what I mean? Because I ain't gonna be on here too long. The family that's, tapping in with me. Anybody getting anything for the weekend? I ain't probably gonna get into too much. I'll probably just, catch up on some movies and things like that, And if anybody's new to my channel, make sure you, like, follow, and subscribe, and share the videos, because I'm trying to, break over this mark of, getting to that 2K point, family. You know what I mean? The algorithm tries to suppress me a lot because of the topics I deal and touch on. You know what I mean? They try to slow the momentum of me down, but, they can't stop something that's, was destined, to be. They can't stop it. But, yeah, I just wanted to tap in with the family. I ain't going to be on here too long. So, yeah, like, and if you new to the channel, family, make sure you like and follow my page. Like I said, I ain't going to be on here too long, and everybody have a good weekend. But start trying to implement, them navy beans. That's why I wanted to bring them to the family. Implement some different things in your diet, instead of just eating, I don't know, eating the processed food all the time, because I'm trying to get away from that. I'm trying to make a little change to my diet. When I come across things, I like to share them. I don't like to be selfish with the information and the knowledge, because a lot of people, they'll be selfish. They'll get some information and knowledge and want to hoard it to themselves. But what good is having all the information? When you pass away, everybody going to pass away. So I like my, if I got information, I like to share it with the family. So, everybody can grow. So that information can live on forever. Because if you got information and hoard it to yourself, when you die off, the information to die off with you. That's what don't get me. That's what gets me, I thought of something too. That's what gets me with a lot of, people. They might have information. They might, how to do something, how to start a business, this, that, or the other, how to move and shake on certain levels. But then people are so selfish that they hoard all the information for themselves because they don't want anybody else to get on. But what the hell, what's good? What good is knowing all the information in the world if you just a mortal man? One day you gonna pass away, so that information gonna die with you, I'm like where we feed the whole community, where we feed the whole FBA family, we get information, we pass it on, so we all can, get our just due, because if you got all the information and you hoarding it, you go away, the information goes away with you. You know what I mean? So let's make sure that we start taking the, the health more serious, family. And I'm gonna start putting out, more like workout videos and some different types of videos I'm trying to come up with on my end. And along with the pre-recorded videos I put out, I'm gonna start, putting out maybe live streams of workouts and just different things, of maybe even cooking videos sometimes, you know what I mean? To just switch it up, keep things different, you got to do things different sometimes. But I'm about to get out of here, family. Enjoy your weekend, and I'm gonna do the same, probably just chill back, try to watch some movies, and have a good weekend, family. And remember to be aware, because to be aware is to be alive. All right, stay safe out there, family. Peace.